There is so much trouble in the world today, and the cause concerns citizens is frivolity. Yes, frivolity embodied by laughter, humor, and merriment. I detest these things, but above all else, I detest jokes. Hi, I'm your old pal, Uncle Phil, and I have returned once again to perform a great deed. That deed, my friends, is to prove once again that jokes are not funny. To illustrate, I present the joke of the Flatulent Fiancé. There once was a young man who fell in love with a young woman. They decided to wed. Yes, the start of many a tragic tale. But I digress. As a result of their engagement, the young lady requested that they visit her family to introduce them to her beloved. Travel arrangements were made, and a dinner was to be hosted in her parental home, so that the entire family could become acquainted with the young man. It should be noted that the young lady's family were pillars of society and believers in propriety. The young lady's mother was particularly proper, stern, and severe. Exactly the type of woman that your Uncle Phil finds to be especially appealing. But I digress. The couple arrived at the family home, and the relatives gathered at the dining table. The parents were seated at the head of the table, and assorted siblings, cousins, aunts, and uncles took their places. In addition, the family dog, Chester, was, in a minor breach of etiquette, permitted to roam about under the dinner table. The young man was, appropriately enough, nervous to meet such a haughty family, but he did his best to engage in conversation, and through his intelligence and charm he performed rather well. Well, that is, until the third course of the meal. It was at this time that the young man felt a rumbling from his intestines, followed by immediate bloating of his lower abdomen, and an inexorable build-up of pressure. Feeling that he could not abruptly leave the table, the fellow discreetly shifted his weight, lifted a cheek, and silently expelled an invisible cloud. Within seconds, the gaseous emanation made its way around the room. This was no ordinary flatus. Oh, no! This was an especially severe, eye-watering, paint-peeling stench. One could track the path of the noxious gas as each guest in turn began to wrinkle their noses and cease their conversations. The young man was mortified. He prayed that his fellow diners would not notice his face reddening with shame. It was then that the young woman's mother spoke up. "Chester," she exclaimed, "get out from under the table!" The young fellow was so relieved that his future mother-in-law believed the dog to be responsible. Eventually, the odor dissipated, and the matter was almost forgotten. Alas, a while later, another gaseous build-up occurred. This one came about far too suddenly for the young man to excuse himself. Once again, he shifted his position and discreetly released his appalling payload. The sulphurous melange assaulted each guest's olfactory senses with a foul, odious, and odorous assault. Again the matriarch said, "Chester, I told you to get out from under the table." And once again the young man felt a mental relief that even exceeded the preceding intestinal relief. Now, one of the serious problems with this joke is its predictability. For yes, one more time a stirring took place in the young fellow's lower digestive tract, and once again he lifted a cheek, and a silent yet foul miasma issued forth. This time, the toxicity of the deadly wafting vapor put all preceding emanations to shame. The reek was so vicious and so intense that the diners began to cough and to wheeze as their faces took on a distinctly greenish tone. The young man could only think to himself, "Thank heavens that the dog is still here to receive the blame." It was just as that thought crossed the young gentleman's mind that his future mother-in-law exclaimed, "For God's sake, Chester, get out from under the table before he asphyxiates you!" Thus ends the joke. As you can plainly tell, this joke was not funny. It was instead an atrocious tale of a wicked young man who caused great offense and was prepared to let an innocent creature take the blame. Furthermore, this joke concerns a disgustingly foul bodily function. What humor could possibly be derived from such a function? Your Uncle Phil is proud to state that my perfect body has never and never will perform such a function. So there you have it. Definitive, undeniable, irrefutable proof once again that jokes are not funny. Concerned viewer, support my righteous anti-joke crusade by liking, sharing, and commenting on my videos, and especially by subscribing to Jokes Are Not Funny. Your subscription will put you at the front of the line to witness each new, groundbreaking episode. The time for action has arrived. Like, share, comment, and subscribe now!